Let's talk about one of the most fundamental challenges in all of machine learning. It's this constant question of why a model can look absolutely perfect on paper, but then just fall flat on its face in the real world. Well, it all comes down to this delicate, constant balancing act between two huge opposing forces. So, let's get right into it.
You've probably been there, right? You spend all this time building a model, it's getting incredible results on your training data, and then you unleash it on something new and it just stumbles. It's a super common, super frustrating problem. And the reason for that gap between training and reality has a name: the bias-variance trade-off.
At the very heart of this problem are two different kinds of error: bias and variance. I want you to think of them like two ends of a seesaw. On one end, you have models that are just too simple, and on the other, you have models that are way too complicated. And the real secret to a great model is finding that perfect, delicate balance right in the middle. Okay, so first up is bias. This is the kind of error you get when your model is just too simple for the job. It makes these big, sweeping assumptions about the data, and because of that, it totally misses the subtle, important patterns that are actually there. A model with high bias is kind of stubborn. It's consistently wrong and usually in the same exact way. Now, on the other end of that seesaw, we have variance. This error comes from a model that's the complete opposite. It's too sensitive. It pays attention to every tiny little detail in the training data. So it doesn't just learn the real signal, it ends up memorizing all the random noise, too. And that makes it incredibly unstable and unpredictable when it finally sees new data.
So, let's just nail this down. High bias means your model is too simple, too rigid. It's basically ignoring the complexity of the data. High variance, on the other hand, means the model is too flexible, too complex, and it's overreacting to every little thing. You can see how these are truly two opposing forces, right?
I know these ideas can feel a little up in the clouds, so let's bring this all down to earth with a really simple and powerful analogy that everyone in data science loves to use: a dartboard. So just picture it. We've got two people playing darts, and they're both trying to hit the bullseye. The pattern of where their darts actually land on the board gives us this perfect visual for understanding bias and variance. Let's see how they do. All right, our first player steps up. They throw their darts, and look at that. They all land in a neat, tight little cluster. Super precise. But they're all way off in the corner, nowhere near the bullseye. This is a perfect picture of high bias and low variance. Their throws are really consistent, that's the low variance, but they are consistently missing the target, that's the high bias. It's a systematic error.
Now for player number 2. Whoa, their darts are just all over the place. They're scattered across the entire board. Now, if you kind of averaged all those shots out, the center would be right on the bullseye, which means low bias. But any single throw, it's completely unpredictable. That right there is a beautiful illustration of high variance.
Okay, so the dartboard is a great analogy. But what do these patterns actually look like when we're building machine learning models? Well, this brings us to two of the most critical concepts you'll ever hear about: underfitting and overfitting.
This table really lays it all out. So on the left, you've got underfitting. That's our high bias friend. The symptom here is that the model is just bad. It performs poorly on the training data and on new data. It's just not getting the picture. Now on the right is overfitting, the result of high variance. This one's way more deceptive. The model looks like an absolute genius on the data it trained on, but the second it sees something new, it completely falls apart. So here is the absolute key, the central point of this whole thing. As you make a model more and more complex, say by adding more features or layers, its bias tends to go down because it can learn more detailed patterns. But at the exact same time, its variance starts to creep up, and that massively increases the risk of overfitting. And this brings us right back to that balancing act. To find the right balance, you can't just look at bias or variance on its own. You have to look at the model's total error, which is a combination of both. The total error of any model can be broken down into this simple formula. It's basically the bias squared plus the variance plus this third thing called irreducible noise. And that last part is just a fancy way of saying there's a certain amount of randomness in any data set that no model, no matter how perfect, can ever get rid of. And this is so important to remember. You can never get bias or variance down to zero. They're always in a tug of war. As one goes down, the other goes up. So the goal is not to eliminate one of them. The goal is to find that sweet spot of model complexity where their combined total error is at its absolute lowest point. So, how do we actually find that sweet spot in the real world?
Okay, let's move from the theory to the practical stuff, the strategies and tools that people use every single day to manage this trade-off.
The process is actually pretty logical. You always start simple. Build a high-bias model first, just to get a baseline. Then you watch its performance on data it's never seen before as you slowly, carefully make it more complex. And the whole time, you're using specific techniques to keep that rising variance in check.
And here are some of the most essential tools in your toolkit. Regularization is like putting a penalty on complexity. It encourages the model to keep things simpler. Cross-validation is a really clever way of testing your model on different slices of your data to get a much more realistic score. Sometimes the answer is just to get more data, which can help a high-variance model learn the true signal. And early stopping is exactly what it sounds like. You just stop the training right before the model starts going crazy and memorizing noise.
Ultimately, this is really what it's all about. Building an amazing machine learning model isn't just about picking the biggest, most powerful algorithm. It's really an art form, the art of balancing these two forces. Honestly, mastering this trade-off is what separates a pretty good model from a truly great one that actually delivers value. So the next time you're working on a model and you see that big gap between how it does in training versus how it does on new data, you'll know exactly what's going on. That's the bias-variance trade-off in action. And the only question left is, how are you going to find the balance?